Sleep Sayer welcomes you, dear listener. As evening's gentle shadows embrace the world, let's take a moment to find perfect comfort. Allow your body to settle deeply into your resting place. Take a slow, calming breath. Tonight, Sleep Sayer will share the calligrapher's heart, a tale where dreams and reality dance together in perfect harmony. The ancient city of Kyoto rests beneath a tapestry of stars. Cherry blossoms drift lazily through the cool night air, their delicate petals catching moonlight like tiny lanterns. The distant chime of a temple bell echoes across tiled rooftops and stone gardens, marking the passage of time in the gentlest of ways. Here, in this place where tradition and beauty intertwine, the old wooden buildings stand in peaceful harmony with the modern world beyond. A small stream meanders through the heart of the garden district, its waters whispering secrets of centuries past. This is a place where time moves more slowly, where each moment invites deeper relaxation. Along a quiet street lined with paper lanterns, a small calligraphy studio awaits the morning light. Inside, brushes rest in ceramic holders, inkstones lie clean and ready, and rolls of fine rice paper are stacked with careful precision. This is the world of Mei Tanaka, a gifted calligrapher whose brush strokes tell stories of their own. Mei had not always been a calligrapher. Before finding peace in the ancient art of beautiful writing, she had been Mei Hayashi, once the brightest star of Japanese cinema. Her face had adorned magazine covers, her name had topped theater marquees, and her smile had captivated millions. But fame is like cherry blossoms in spring, brilliantly beautiful yet fleeting. After a series of unsuccessful films, Mei's star had begun to fade. Directors who once eagerly sought her talents now passed her by for newer faces. The vibrant world of cinema that had once embraced her now seemed distant and cold. Yet Mei's spirit remained undimmed, like a lantern that continues to glow even as night deepens. She had learned calligraphy as a child from her grandmother, whose patient hands had guided hers across countless sheets of paper. In those quiet moments of uncertainty, Mei returned to the art that had always brought her peace. The smooth glide of brush against paper reminded her of who she truly was beneath the fame and glamour. Each stroke became a meditation, each finished character a small triumph of patience and skill. One morning as golden sunlight filtered through rice paper windows, Mei's agent called with unexpected news. A famous director was planning a historical drama about Oi Katsushika, daughter of the legendary artist Hokusai. The role would require immersion in traditional arts, particularly calligraphy and painting. It was the opportunity Mei had been waiting for, a chance to reclaim her place in the world of cinema. But the director had concerns about Mei's understanding of traditional arts. "Show me you can become Oi," he had said, "and the role is yours." Mei knew that to truly embody such a character, she needed more than superficial knowledge. She needed to live and breathe the world of traditional Japanese arts. Through a connection of her agent, Mei learned of Master Hiroshi Nakamura, curator of ancient texts at Kyoto University's prestigious Cultural Heritage Department. If anyone could guide her into the world of historical calligraphy, it would be him. The university's cultural heritage building stood like a bridge between times, traditional architecture housing modern preservation techniques. As Mei approached the ornate wooden entrance, cherry blossoms drifted around her like whispered encouragements. The hallways were hushed, with display cases holding scrolls and artifacts from centuries past. Mei's footsteps echoed softly against polished wooden floors as she made her way to the curator's office. Master Nakamura was not what Mei had expected. Where she had imagined an elderly scholar with spectacles and stooped shoulders, she found a man in his early 40s with keen eyes and an air of quiet confidence. His office was a harmonious blend of order and artistic chaos, ancient texts and climate-controlled cases alongside modern books on preservation techniques. Brushes of various sizes stood in ceramic holders beside inkstones worn smooth by generations of use. "Miss Hayashi," he said, looking up from an ancient scroll, his voice carrying the measured cadence of someone who chose words with the same care he chose brush strokes. "I understand you wish to learn about historical calligraphy practices." Something in his tone suggested skepticism, as though he had encountered dilettantes before who sought quick knowledge without true dedication. Mei bowed respectfully and spoke from her heart, explaining her desire to honor the role she hoped to play. "I don't wish to merely appear as though I understand calligraphy," she said. "I wish to truly know it, even if for only a moment in time." Master Nakamura studied her with eyes that seemed to read beyond her words. After a thoughtful silence, he nodded once. 3 months, he said. "Work as my assistant while I prepare for the upcoming exhibition on Heian period calligraphy. Learn what you can." And so began Mei's journey into a world far removed from camera flashes and premiere parties. Her days now began with the preparation of ink, grinding the ink stick against the stone in circular motions, adding water drop by drop until the consistency was perfect. She learned to hear the difference between properly and improperly ground ink. One sang against the stone, the other scraped. Master Nakamura was exacting but patient, demanding precision while acknowledging honest effort. He taught Mei to feel the life in each brush, to understand how different hairs responded differently to pressure and movement. Each morning, they would practice the basic strokes, horizontal, vertical, hook, and dot, with the same dedication that master calligraphers had shown for centuries. The rhythm of this new life brought Mei unexpected peace. Each day unfolded with gentle predictability: morning practice, afternoon research, evening discussions about the philosophy behind each character's form. The university gardens became her favorite place for lunch, where a stone lantern stood sentinel among carefully pruned trees. Sometimes, she would spot Master Nakamura there too, sitting in contemplation before returning to work. As weeks passed, Mei's hands began to develop a calligrapher's sensitivity. She could feel the subtle differences between paper types, could sense when a brush needed more or less ink. The characters she formed began to take on life and meaning beyond their simple shapes. Master Nakamura noticed too, his criticism gradually giving way to thoughtful suggestions. One evening as golden light slanted through the office windows, casting long shadows across ancient texts, he surprised her with a question. "Why did you really come here, Miss Hayashi?" The question hung in the air like ink suspended in water before touching paper. Mei looked up from the scroll she was carefully unrolling and considered her answer. At first, it was for the role, she admitted. But now, I find peace in these brushstrokes that I never found under camera lights. Master Nakamura nodded, a small smile softening his usually serious expression. The true art of calligraphy is not in the characters formed, but in the heart that forms them, he said. In that moment, something shifted between them, a recognition of shared understanding that transcended teacher and student. As they worked side by side preparing for the exhibition, Mei began to see Hiroshi not just as Master Nakamura the scholar, but as a man with his own stories and dreams. She noticed how his eyes lit up when discussing particularly beautiful examples of ancient writing. She came to recognize the subtle changes in his posture when he was tired but pushing himself to continue his work. She admired his dedication to preserving cultural treasures not as museum pieces but as living connections to those who had come before. And Hiroshi, though he would not yet admit it even to himself, began to see beyond the actress seeking research for a role. He noticed how Mei's brow furrowed in concentration as she practiced difficult characters. He appreciated her questions, which revealed not a desire for shortcuts but a genuine wish to understand. He found himself looking forward to their shared lunches in the garden, where conversation flowed as naturally as the small stream among the stones. The preparation for the exhibition intensified as the opening date drew near. Ancient scrolls needed careful mounting, descriptive texts needed writing, and the entire exhibition space needed transformation into a journey through calligraphy's history. One evening, as they worked late into the night, Mei discovered a scroll that had been overlooked. The calligraphy was extraordinary, flowing with emotion and life in a way that seemed to leap from the ancient paper. "Master Nakamura," she called softly, careful not to disturb the tranquil atmosphere. "What is this piece?" Hiroshi came to her side, his footsteps quiet on the wooden floor. As he leaned close to examine the scroll, Mei became aware of his presence in a way she hadn't before, the subtle scent of ink and cedar, the careful way he held himself, the warmth of him beside her in the quiet room. "Ah," he said, his voice carrying a note of reverence. "This is a love poem from the late Heian period." The calligrapher poured his heart into every stroke. Their eyes met over the ancient scroll, and something unspoken passed between them. "How can you tell?" Mei asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Hiroshi smiled gently. "The same way one can tell when an actress is truly becoming her character rather than merely playing a role." In that moment, Mei realized that he had seen through her from the beginning, had known her struggle to recapture her career, her initial view of calligraphy as merely a means to an end. And yet he had taught her anyway, recognizing perhaps before she did that she would come to love the art for its own sake. Days passed in peaceful industry as the exhibition took shape around them. Cherry trees outside began to bud, promising another season of renewal and beauty. The director called to check on Mei's progress. but somehow the role that had once seemed so crucial now felt like just one part of a larger journey. The night before the exhibition opening, Mei stayed late to perfect the arrangement of scrolls in the final display case. The university had grown quiet, with only the occasional security guard passing through on rounds. Moonlight spilled through windows, casting the ancient texts in silver light. Mei stood back to survey her work, feeling a sense of accomplishment unlike any she had known on film sets. She didn't hear Hiroshi approach until he spoke. "It's perfect," he said simply, coming to stand beside her. The moonlight illuminated his face, softening the scholarly intensity she had grown so familiar with. "I could not have done this without you," he told her, his voice carrying warmth that made her heart beat a little faster. "I came here to learn about calligraphy," Mei replied softly. "But I've learned so much more." Hiroshi turned to face her fully, his eyes reflecting the same gentle moonlight that bathed the ancient scrolls. "The exhibition opens tomorrow," he said. "And after that, you'll return to your world of cinema." The thought, which should have brought excitement, now carried a note of melancholy. Mei looked at the beautiful characters surrounding them, each stroke a testament to a moment in time when someone had put brush to paper with full presence of mind and heart. "I'm not sure that's my world anymore," she confessed. "Or at least, not the only world I wish to inhabit." Hiroshi's expression softened further, hope kindling in his eyes. "Perhaps," he suggested quietly, "you could find a way to bridge both worlds, just as these ancient arts find new life in the modern day." His hand moved slightly, almost but not quite reaching for hers. "And perhaps," he added, his voice barely above a whisper, "you might continue to need a consultant for historical accuracy." Mei smiled, feeling as though a character inside her was taking beautiful form, just as happens when brush meets paper with perfect intention. "I think that could be arranged," she said. Outside, cherry blossoms began to fall in the gentle night breeze, nature's own celebration of moments perfectly formed. The exhibition opened to great acclaim, scholars and art lovers alike praising the thoughtful arrangement and insightful descriptions. Mei stood quietly to one side, watching as Hiroshi guided visitors through centuries of beautiful writing. He caught her eye across the room and smiled a smile meant only for her. 3 months later, Mei received word that she had won the role of Oi Katsushika. The director had been impressed not just by her technical knowledge but by the authentic connection she had formed with the art. But by then, the role had become just one thread in the tapestry of her life. She continued her calligraphy practice each morning in the small apartment she had decided to keep in Kyoto. She divided her time between film sets and the university cultural department, where she had been invited to assist with educational programs. And in the evenings, she often found herself walking through temple gardens with Hiroshi, their conversations flowing as naturally as the streams among the stones. 2 worlds that had once seemed separate now intertwined like brushstrokes, forming a single beautiful character. Mei had found her way back to cinema not by chasing fame but by following her heart to authentic connection with an ancient art. And in doing so, she had written a new story for herself, one stroke at a time, The ancient city of Kyoto continues its gentle life beneath the stars. Cherry blossoms still drift on evening breezes, catching moonlight like memories given form. Temple bells still mark the passage of time with their resonant voices. And in a small calligraphy studio near the university, brushes rest in ceramic holders, waiting for morning light. This is a world where beauty is found in the most delicate of moments, where stories unfold with the patient grace of brush against paper, where hearts find their true characters in the space between ancient tradition and present joy. As our story draws to a close, moonlight bathes the world in silver dreams. Each breath brings deeper peace. Let these gentle moments carry you into your own dreams. Sleep Sayer bids you good night.